Comments on the show. I'm sure, Chris, you can write your letters to Chris Davis and we'll try to make the show better for you.
Northeastern, don't ask the zip, I don't know.
And it's time.
Survey says.
The price is wrong, Bobby. For trivia.
And live from the ECAT studios in Northeastern Massachusetts, this is Tuesday Night Triviality. It's June 27th, 2023, and I'm your host and trivia master, Tim Polatin, and it's time for trivia. I'd like to welcome you to our second broadcast, this marvelous reboot of a 1980s era call-in trivia show. So thanks to the support of our loyal listeners and avid viewers, we're able to take this show into the 21st century. Tonight's show is sponsored by Michael Associates Ltd. Located in Quincy, Mass., they specialize in real estate and financial services, including the private placement of federal housing tax credit partnerships to both individual and corporate sponsors. I'd also like to say special thanks. Tuesday Triviality would like to give a special thanks to the Easton Historical Society and Museum for their help with some of the questions on the show. So, tonight's game will be general trivia with multiple categories represented in each round. Each round will have one Easton little thank you for our loyal ECAT viewers. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this program works. If you're watching this as a rerun, on demand, or at a later date, you can always play along in spirit, like your favorite online or television game show. If you're watching this live, however, you have the opportunity to participate and potentially win prizes. So our round one prize this evening is a $50 gift card from Westside Graphics, located at 285 Washington Street in Easton, where you can get all of your framing and stained glass related needs. You can check out their website at westsidegraphics.com. That'll be our round one prize, $50 Westside Graphics. For round two's prize, it'll be a $50 gift card from Merry-Go-Round, located at 285 Washington Street in Easton. They're making shopping for kids more sustainable, affordable, and fun. Started as a brick-and-mortar consignment store 30 years ago, now expanded to an online business. You can visit their store and also their website at shopmerrygorounds.com. So that's for round two, $50 to Merry-Go-Rounds consignment store. And finally, round three's prize is a $50 gift card to the Farmer's Daughter, located 122 Main Street, Easton, serving unique and creative comfort food since 2013. So all three prizes are graciously donated, and they're all wonderful local Easton resources. So there's a little bit of an incentive for you right there. So more about how this game's going to work. When I read each question, you'll have a minute to send in your answers before I reveal the answer on air. How you can do this is with our easy online answer sheet, which can either be pulled up in your computer browser or via a link on your smartphone with a handy-dandy QR code. So whether you're watching this on the big screen, small screen, or any kind of screen in between, we'll all be using the same submission method, which will be all through this one Google-based form. So be advised, Facebook comments, Zoom chat, and anything you yell directly at your TV screen will be lost in the void. So if you want to be counted, take that time now to follow the link or scan that QR code. You could find it where you found this program advertised. So as you get your answer sheet up, you'll notice a few important fields to fill out. I'll take the moment to explain this now because this will be a fun, fast-paced game. You'll notice the top two things that are required is your name and your answer. You'll be reusing this submission form for every question. There's also a non-required every time field at the bottom for an email address. You'll only need to fill that out once so that we can match your name to contact you later on if you're one of tonight's winners. So as long as you don't change your name somewhere in the game, we'll be able to contact you if you are one of the winners of our rounds 1, 2, and 3 prizes. So if you want a little bit of a pro tip, put in your name first before I even read the question, because it'll improve your response times. And in this game, response time and speed is rewarded. For every question, the top 3 quickest correct answers, that's the key. It has to be correct and quick, are entered into that round's drawing. So if you are one of the top 3 answerers for each question, your name will go into this pillowcase of names. And at the end of round 1, round 2, and round 3, we will draw from that. It's a random name will be pulled out from that winner pool. Now, the 3 rounds and the gameplay prizes, to max out your chances, you'll need to be top 3 answerer for all questions. That's maximum odds. But the drawing still will be random. And due to that random nature, it is possible that the same person could win multiple prizes, so don't get disheartened if that happens. You have the same chance to win multiple prizes as well. So we'll also keep this above the belt. Siri and Alexa are not members of your brain trust, and only 1 answer per person per question, please. So now's your chance to get that answer form locked and loaded. Get comfortable, get ready, because speed is rewarded, like I said. So we're gonna get right into this game. Let's see. Round 1. So all 3 rounds will have 8 questions. So 8 chances to get that name in the bag. So let's see. Maestro, are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do this. Round 1, question 1. USA's 7th largest state is Nevada. What is Nevada's state capital? So let's get that minute on that clock, and it's counting down. We're looking for the state capital of Nevada. It's good to start off like are you smarter than a 5th grader right here? If you have a 5th grader in the room with you, they probably will be a good help for you. But looking for the capital of Nevada. Capital of Nevada. Hint, it is not Las Vegas. So don't even think about putting that one in. We're looking for the capital of the U.S. state of Nevada. So the clock is ticking. Get those answers in. Capital of Nevada. 7th largest state right there. So, all right, so we're coming in. Hopefully everybody is easy access to this program this evening. All right, we're in the final 10 seconds. Get those answers in. All right, and time. That answer is Carson City. Carson City, Nevada is the capital of Nevada. So that sits right there on Lake Tahoe, closer to the California border. California border for Tahoe, Carson City. All right, here we are to question number 2. Let's get another minute on that clock. Question number 2 on the board. What Hanna-Barbera cartoon character was famous for singing a tone-deaf version of "Oh My Darling Clementine"? Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. That's what we're looking for, a Hanna-Barbera cartoon character. So if you're not so familiar with the Hanna-Barbera library, that duo Hanna-Barbera brought us great hits like The Jetsons, The Flintstones. This character was in neither of those, but by the same animators. By the same animators right there. So we're looking for what Hanna-Barbera cartoon character? All right, and time is moving along right here. Hanna-Barbera cartoon character. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, but with less fun as I'm singing it. All right, that answer was Huckleberry Hound. Huckleberry Hound, that blue dog with the wonderful pork pie hat. Hopefully you didn't get that confused with let's see, Foghorn Leghorn. That was a Looney Tunes character, and he liked to sing a few different songs. Huckleberry Hound, saying that one. All right, up next, number 3. Another chance for you. Which Beatle sang "All You Need Is Love"? All you need is love. So consider this one like a multiple choice. I'll give you your options right now. You have John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Those are the Fab Four. Which one of them was the vocalist for "All You Need Is Love"? I believe that appeared on the Magical Mystery Tour album. Magical Mystery Tour, All You Need Is Love, originally a single, but most songs were from the Lennon-McCartney writing duo. But we're not asking who wrote the music or the lyrics, simply asking who sang the words. All you need is love. All right, and the clock is running. Even if you don't have the best guess, you got a 25% shot in the dark or an educated 50-50. Which Beatle sang, All You Need Is Love? Everybody loves a good Beatles question. All right, and the time is up on that. That was the work of John Lennon. That was John Lennon was the lead vocal there, writing Lennon-McCartney credit, John Lennon as the vocalist. All right, moving right along to question number 4. Panama is the connection between Central America and South America. What country borders Panama from the south? So from the south, we're looking for a country in South America that touches Panama, and the only country in South America that touches Panama. Looking for a South American nation for round 1, question 3. Oh, nope, sorry, question 4, right there. Question 4, looking for a South American country. One that touches Panama. So there we go, we got our answers coming in. All right, and looking good so far. Touching Panama. Yeah, so Panama is that connective tissue. Above that, you have all those Central American nations of Guatemala and Honduras, Costa Rica. But underneath it is where we're asking you right now. You could probably figure out what those top 3 countries along that northern border of South America are, but which one has the only land connection to the rest of the Americas? All right, and your time is up. So here's your answer. Colombia. 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 Although if you wrote Columbia like the university, I'd count that as a spelling error and give it to you. But Colombia touches Panama to the south. All right, question number 5. Moving right along in the first round. Who was the Easton duck farmer who invented the egg incubator? All right, so we threw in one of those Easton questions right here. So this one may be a little bit difficult, but you can throw it in there. Sort of Jeopardy rules. We'll accept just the last name. So Easton has a rich history of that. I think last time we explored the laying water cows, but duck farmer invented the egg incubator. Now it's used worldwide in poultry farms, but what do you know? Shoveltown could also be egg incubator town if you think about it hard enough. So we're looking for an Easton duck farmer, and just the last name will do. Like I said, we won't be too strict on that one. All right, and time is clicking and ticking. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. All right, that was, here we go. Yeah, so that was James Rankin. James Rankin. That was probably the tough one for round 1 right there. The tough one for round 1 was Rankin. All right, so let's move back into the worldwide questions of, let's go for sports for question number 6. Here's your question number 6 for sports. What New York Yankee, nicknamed the Commerce Comet, still holds the Major League Baseball record for longest home run at 643 feet? Of course, the actual distance of that is still contested, and 643 is the accepted right now record. But if you need something better for a hint, it's the Commerce Comet. What classic New York Yankee went by that nickname, the Commerce Comet, and holds that record somewhat officially of her longest home run at 643 feet? All right, answers are coming in. Hopefully we know our classic baseball players. Pinstripes era. right here. So the Commerce Comet. All right, we're moving in. So the New York Yankees right there. So the Commerce Comet right there in the Big Apple. So 643 feet. The measurement was just based off landmarks, and they assumed it. Now they have much better technology, so that's under debate. But what's not under debate is who the Commerce Comet was, and that is none other than Mickey Mantle. So right there for question number 6, the answer was Mickey Mantle. All right, moving right along to question number 7. There we go. What is the name shared between the main antagonist in Shakespeare's Othello and in Disney's Aladdin? So you could know this one of two ways. You could be a Disney fan or a Shakespeare buff. But there's one character whose name is shared between the two. That is the main antagonist in Othello and Jafar's parrot. So sidekick to the main antagonist in Disney's Aladdin. So same name, two different ways to get there. We'll see which way you like to get there. But they always like to hide those little literary references in some of those classic Disney animations. So Aladdin has those themes to Shakespeare. There's a lot more Shakespeare themes in The Lion King, I believe. It's in essence just Hamlet with lions. But for this right here, we're looking for an Othello character. How well you know that. How well you know the man who played the role in the film adaptation, a classic one, or if you have a favorite Shakespeare in the Park. I know they do some good Shakespeare by the Park behind the Ames Free Library here in Easton, so you might want to catch one of those as well. All right, and the time is ticking and gone. That name is Iago. Iago is the name of that parrot, voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. So Gilbert Godfrey had that nice piercing, shrieking voice, played Iago the parrot, and of course, Iago was the classic Shakespearean character for the last, let's see, what was that? The 1400s, 1500s, last 500 years. All right, now we're going into the final question of round 1. How many stars make up Ursa Minor, the Little Dipper? The Little Dipper. That's nice. It's nice and easy. Ursa Minor meaning the little bear. Now, of course, the Big Dipper depends on how you measure it, with legs or without legs. But the Little Dipper is the same constellation no matter how you slice it. How many stars make up the Little Dipper? That's what we want to ask you tonight. So you don't have to list anything other than a number. So just throw out a number and that's all we need. How many stars? Close your eyes and visualize it. There's 2 parts. There's a cup and a handle, and 1 star that links the 2. So think about that hard. How many stars can you see in the cup of the Little Dipper? And how many stars can you see in the handle of the Little Dipper? That's what we want to know. And combine them, of course. So looking for a number right there. All right, and we are coming close to the end of round 1, so if you haven't got in those answers yet, send them in now before we go to our break. All right, so it looks like the answer was 7. 7. There are 4 in the cup and 3 in the handle. 4 in the cup, 3 in the handle, making 7 total stars in the Little Dipper. Think about that next time. And the Little Dipper also has the North Star there at the end of the handle. So that's a good way to find your way at night if you know how to find the Little Dipper. And with that, we're going to go to our first break. When we come back, we'll be drawing our name out of the bag for our round 1 prize, which was to Westside Graphics. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Don't have time to sit down and watch ECAT programs? Don't worry, ECAT has got you covered. That's right, ECAT has
Podcast!
Yes. ECAT Podcast Channel has your favorite shows that you could listen to. Whether you want to chill and listen to the Ron Van Dam Show and hear him talk about what's bothering him that day, or the show hosted by local legends Stephanie Weinstein and Meredith Keach, where they talk about anything and everything, or take a listen to the weekly news hosted by Jack Ryan and Abby Kitchenham. Stay tuned in with Tiger Talk hosted by Oliver Ames students. Community Forum is where their host Priscilla talks about all things Easton. Easton residents can also find government meetings about various topics. You can find the podcast on Podbean and all your favorite podcast platforms. Just by searching ECAT or the ECAT podcast, you can find it all. The ECAT podcast channel is powered by Podbean, so either in the car ride or walking around town, you can always catch what's going on with ECAT. Happy listening!
All right, so we're back. Our names are categorized into here. And for our round one prize, the $50 gift card to Westside Graphics, we have Steve M. Steve M. So it looks like you did give us an email address, so we will be reaching out to you to coordinate how you can come in and get your $50 gift card. All right. So fret not, because round two is coming up. In round two, we'll be playing for $50 gift card to Merry-Go-Round, also on Washington Street. Let's put a URL link out there. Remember that only answers that come through the official answer form will get put into the bag. So if you weren't sending them in any way, you have nothing to lose. It's a free game. You can only lose a little dignity. So I implore you, even if you think you're wrong in most answers, you might as well throw something in there and see if you can get something. So we're going to jump right into round two. Round two works the same way as round one. Use the same answer sheet. You don't have to change anything. You'll put in your name so that you have that speediness on your side. And when the question comes up, you'll still have that 1 minute to send in the answer. And if you're just joining us, be sure to put your email address in for at least one of your answers so that we can reach out to you so you can claim your prize. All right, let's put that minute on the clock and get ready for round two, question one. Here we go. The Iliad recounts the war between the Trojans and the Spartans in the ancient city of Troy, which is now located in what modern country? So the Trojans, what modern country, if you are, let's say, an ancient Trojan that just went into a time machine to today, who would issue you your passport? So the time is ticking, and we're looking for a modern country. It used to be known as Troy, especially back in the days of the Spartans and the Trojans. But nowadays, if you found the city of Troy, what modern country would that city lie in? Looking for a modern country for question number one in round two. All right, we're about halfway there with the time. Halfway there. Modern country, the city of Troy. The Iliad and the Odyssey, two great epics right there. The Odyssey was so influential, people still call things Odysseys. But the Iliad was more grounded, more of a wartime story, telling something great like the Trojan horse. So that Trojan horse in the city of Troy, where is that city? Well, that would be modern-day Turkey. That is modern-day Turkey, right across from Greece. So when they could war each other right across their own small sea right there. Troy is in Turkey. All right, question number two. Let's load it up. What actress played Catwoman in the movie Batman Returns? All right, there's been several Catwomen to date and more than several Batman movies. So if I throw out the title there, Batman Returns, which Catwoman was in Batman Returns? So I won't give anything away with which Batman was in Batman Returns. But, no extra hints. We're looking for an actress that played Catwoman in Batman Returns. So how well do you know your Batman movies and your several Batmen? More importantly, your Catwoman. All right, we're coming in. All right, don't be afraid to send in those answers. All right, in the final 10 seconds, if you don't know, just send in any Catwoman and you'll probably have a 15% chance of getting it right. Maybe 20%, depending on how far back of Catwoman you go. But now we're at our time, and the answer is Michelle Pfeiffer. That was the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, with an excessive amount of zippers, I should say, on that leather Catwoman outfit. So that was the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman in Batman Returns. Question number 3. Question number 3. Which U.S. president is depicted leftmost on Mount Rushmore? So let me clarify, this is stage left. If you are at the National Park Service viewing platform at the bottom, looking up at Mount Rushmore, or you're seeing a photograph of Mount Rushmore, there are 4 heads up there. All the way to the left, which president is leftmost on Mount Rushmore? That's what we want to know. So here we go. Your minute is moving along. Which U.S. president is leftmost on Mount Rushmore? So I guess if you could figure out who those 4 giant heads are on Mount Rushmore, you've got yourself somewhat of a multiple choice here. Somewhat of a multiple choice. 4 options, 4 presidents. Which one's all the way to the left? I know this should be almost like an extra bonus if you can name them in order, but we won't do that to you. You just need to tell us who's all the way to one side. If you could visualize those heads, sort of looking in the different directions, I believe, the leftmost one will be pointed inward, sort of looking at the rest, regally as they all are. All right, in the last 5 seconds here. Last 5 seconds. Which U.S. president is leftmost on Mount Rushmore? That is none other than the original George Washington. George Washington's all the way to the left. Then you have Jefferson and Roosevelt and Lincoln are in tail. But it is George Washington that is all the way to the left on Mount Rushmore. All right, so let's see. Question number 4. Ooh, interesting one here. A standard piano has 88 keys total. How many black keys does one have? So 88 keys overall. So clearly there is going to be a fewer amount of black keys. That is not just white keys. That is black and white keys combined. Standard piano has 88. How many black keys are on that standard size of a piano? That standard size, I believe, is also known as concert piano. So on a concert piano or your Casio keyboard, you may have 88 keys. We're looking for the black keys. Sometimes in a group of 3, sometimes in a group of 2. And at what order and what intervals? That's what you need to also visualize. A lot of visualizations right here. All right, we're coming in. Again, like the Little Dipper, this one's just a number. So throw it out there in the next 10 seconds, because once it comes out of my mouth, you've missed your opportunity to be one of the 3 fast answerers to get their name selected for our round 2 prize. All right, how many black keys is on the standard concert piano? There are 36. 36, which your basic subtraction would tell you that leaves 52 white keys. 52 white keys, 36 black keys gives the 88 keys of a concert piano. All right, here. Now it's time for another Easton flavor right here for question number 5. Anna C. Ames is known in part for ushering in 3 decades of Easton dominance by launching a program for what sport at the turn of the century? So the turn of the century being the turn of the 20th century, Anna C. Ames, through large donations and establishing a sports program at now Oliver Ames High School, began 3 decades of Oliver Ames sports here in Easton, Massachusetts, dominating in what particular sport? So looking for one sport, and this was the sport that Easton was known for in the 1900s, 1910s, and 1920s. But we didn't stop there. Of course, Oliver Ames still is one of the top in the hawk, as they say. All right, coming in, we're looking for a sport. All right, we got them coming in. All right, what sport did Anna C. Ames establish strongly at the turn of the century at Oliver Ames High School? 3, 2, and 1. All right, that sport was basketball. Basketball, here we go. So basketball, as you may know, the OA basketball program is strong, and those roots are over 100 years deep, starting with Anna C. Ames right there. All right, so if that local flavor was tough, don't worry, that's the only one for round 2. Back to usual with question number 6. The first 3 Olympic Summer Games were held in Athens, then in Paris, and then what U.S. city? So we're looking for the U.S. city in which the 3rd Summer Olympic Games was ever held. Of course, this is the relaunch when the Summer and Winter Games came back around 1900, or the late 1800s. We're not counting the Olympic Games of ancient Greece, the modern Olympic Games, which we're defining now by the Summer Olympics, is how they started. So they started in Athens right off the bat with the first Summer Olympic Games as a way to bring back the tradition. 4 years later, it was brought to Paris, and then 4 years after that, it was brought to the U.S. The 3rd ever Summer Olympic Games was in a U.S. city, and which U.S. city is it? And if there's any hints I can offer, this wasn't the last time this particular city hosted the Summer Olympics. Okay, we're coming down to the wire here. So think about those cities that have held the Summer Olympics in the U.S., because this one did repeat itself. This was St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is the first U.S. city to hold the Summer Olympic Games, and St. Louis did later hold it again, and I believe it was a three-peat. But St. Louis was chosen then because around that turn of the century, it was also very popular for the World's Fair. So they had the infrastructure from the World's Fair in St. Louis to also host the Summer Olympic Games. So right there, meet me in St. Louis. All right, we're on to question number 7. Question number 7, this one's a fun one. In order to be considered a true mule, the mother must be of which species? So consider this to be a 50-50 shot for you. Horse, donkey, donkey, horse. If the mother and the father are swapped, it'll be a hinny. But in which species has to be the mother in order for it to be a mule? If you have horses and donkeys and want to crossbreed, make sure you do it in the right order, because a mule is a powerful animal. Stubborn, I hear, but they can be your beast of burden. A hinny is not as good, although it could be, I guess, a good pack mule, like a smaller burro, but we're looking for a mule. Your answer is either horse or donkey or horse. Which one is the mother of a mule? Mother of a mule. All right, coming down right there. Like I said, the odds are in your favor. So throw it in there. We got some varied ideas of who the mother of a mule is. All right, and that's time. In order to be a mule, the mother must be a horse. Must be a horse, straight from the horse's mouth. So for a mule, the mother's a horse and the father's a donkey. If the mother is the donkey and the father is a horse, you get something else called a hinny, which looks distinctively more donkey-like. But the mother is a horse to give birth to a mule. All right, up next is our question number 8. This is our last one of round 2. Last one of round 2 here. How do you express the year 1770 in Roman numerals? So good old Roman numerals. You get your I's, your V's, your X's. If the Super Bowl has taught us anything, it's how to count in Roman numerals. So how would you express the year 1770 in Roman numerals? So take your time right here. It happens sequentially. You got to figure it out in that way. Sort of thinking big and going down small. 1770. A good one that ends a multiple of 10 so that you don't have to deal with any of those I's. Roman numerals here. I know it's a tough one. You don't often have to think about Roman numerals, of course, unless you're playing trivia. So Roman numeral 1770, 1770. If that's how you want to think about it, that might just help you thinking about it that way. 1770. What a year. All right, we're moving right along. All right, now's your time to send those in to see if you'll get those points. All right, I'm going to have to read this one because it's kind of tough. MDCCLXX. M for 1,000. D for 500. CC, each representing 100, making DCC 700. And then LXX for 50, 10, 10. So really it's 1,000, 500, 100, 150, 10, 10 to get 1770. So right there, that is the end of your round 2. We're going to take another brief 1-minute break, and when we come back, I will be drawing yet another name to see who will win our round 2 prize. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
There's a storm.
Join me, Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, to explore the town of Easton and its interesting, engaging, ordinary, and extraordinary people, and meet a smorgasbord of guests, including artists, authors, musicians, business owners, community organizations, clergy, local leaders, etc., etc., etc. Community Forum at 3 p.m. on Thursdays and 1:30 p.m. on Saturdays. See you then.
And we're back. All right, so if you thought that round was a little hard, you weren't alone. But if you got some right, the odds were in your favor this round. So let us see who our round 2 winner is. Again, this is a gift card from Merry Go Round, located at 285 Washington Street in Easton. Shopping for kids, more sustainable and affordable and fun. Brick and mortar consignment, also expanded to an online business. So $50 right there to shopmerrygorounds.com. All right, let's see. Answerer, Steve M. Look at that. So Steve M right there. It is your night for round 1 and round 2. Again, you all have the same odds as long as you get those answers in, because every question, the top 3 answerers get a spot in the drawing. So we're going to go back to round 3, our final round. Now in this, again, I'll remind everyone that you'll be sending your answers in, not by yelling them at your screen, not by texting them to your friends, but by putting it on the simple answer response form. So there's a link in the Facebook chat. There's also a QR code popping right there. You can scan with your phone. You can play with a phone and a screen, or 10 if you think that'll help you. You can pull it up in another tab, split screen, or have it in front of you. But right there will be your little answer form to put in your name and your answer so that we can timestamp us all down to the last millisecond, because sometimes that's what it comes down to. So if we have that back up, you can preload in your name to help your response times. We're going to be going right into round 3. Another 8 questions, 8 chances for your name. So here we go. Round 3, question 1. Which bodily organ produces insulin for distribution into the bloodstream? So hopefully you know your organs. You might have to do process of elimination to figure out which ones it isn't. Clearly, it's not your heart and lungs. They are valid organs, though. But we also have those lesser-known organs that you don't really hear about unless there's a problem with one of them. So this is one of those ones that it does its job every day, and you don't ask questions until it doesn't. We're looking for the bodily organ that produces insulin for distribution into the bloodstream. All right. So yeah, I don't want to give any hints by playing Operation and pointing where it is on my chest, but I assure you it is within your torso. It is protected by your rib cage because you don't want this hurt. Because insulin is important to help you produce break down and process sugars, which you may know this if you are diabetic. This insulin-producing organ is the pancreas. The pancreas right here is your round three, question 1. All right, question number 2. Question number 2. What is the name of Ronald Reagan's chimpanzee co-star from his Hollywood days in 1951? So, Ronald Reagan, the movie star, as Doc Brown said in Back to the Future. Before he had a vice president, he had a chimpanzee. So a bit of an upgrade if you ask me. But what was the name of this chimpanzee that was the co-star to Ronald Reagan? His co-star. And this chimpanzee, the name of the chimp, so the actor of the chimp, was also the name they used in the movie. And it was also the title of the movie. And of course, Ronald Reagan got a lot of publicity posing with the chimpanzee. And afterwards, I believe he was quoted that you shouldn't work with animals or children. They're too unpredictable. If I heard anything from, the set of Friends, they were very glad to get rid of the monkey after season 1. As I assume Ronald Reagan might have welcomed the chimpanzee back into his life after leaving the White House. So that's your time. The answer of that and the name of that chimpanzee was Bonzo. Bonzo. And the most famous movie they had together was called Bedtime for Bonzo, in which Bonzo did wear an adorable pair of pajamas with the buttons. So Bedtime for Bonzo was Ronald Reagan's breakout hit with Bonzo the Chimp. And to think 30 years later, he was in politics. Okay, here we go. Question number 3. Which ear did Vincent van Gogh famously cut off, supposedly to silence auditory hallucinations? So again, this one, like the horse and the donkey, you can consider this to be a 50-50 right here. Left or right. That's all you have to do. Left or right to say which ear Vincent van Gogh cut off. So that's one fact about Vincent van Gogh that we famously do know, is that he cut off an ear. He has some self-portraits showing one ear. He has some self-portraits the other. He's not a reliable narrator, as they say in the literary world, but plaster molds of his ear have been on display in different museums. It is 3D printed. Which ear, left or right, did Vincent van Gogh cut off? That's what we want to know. So if you don't know definitively, hey, you can throw it out there. If you're one of the first 3 people to say one or the other, and it happens to be the correct one, you just got your chance. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, that was, in fact, his left ear. Now, there is some minor confusion because in one self-portrait, it does appear that he has a left ear, but he painted that in the mirror. It was his left ear that he cut off. His left ear. All right, moving right along to question number 4. What classic movie has the closing line, "It was Beauty killed the Beast"? It was Beauty killed the Beast. That is your, let's see, we're at question number 4 right here. Question number 4, so coming up at the halfway mark for round 3. It was Beauty killed the Beast was the final line of what classic movie? That's one thing that defined the black and white era, was the classic closing line. You know, at least we'll always have Paris. Here's looking at you, kid. All that good stuff. It was Beauty killed the Beast. We're looking for a classic movie, so that would be, as you could guess, the black and white era movie. I believe this was either the 30s or the 40s, if you think that will help. It was Beauty killed the Beast was the last line uttered before a tasteful fade to black and a roll of credits. What movie was it? All right, and time That movie was 1933's King Kong. King Kong. So they also brought that back in, I believe, the Peter Jackson's remake. They also ended with that same line because you gotta have King Kong swiping at the planes, and you gotta end with, it wasn't the airplanes that killed him. It was beauty killed the beast. So what an ending to quite a movie. All right, here we go. Question number 5. We're in the back half, and here's your Easton flavor for round 3. Blanche Ames, former resident of Borderland State Park, was best known for her involvement in what social movement? Looking for a social movement that Blanche Ames, also known as Blanche Ames Ames, because her maiden name was also Ames. She was a pivotal key in what social movement? So she was an activist, but for what cause? That's what we want to know. What social movement was she an activist for? And for this involvement is actually one of the leading reasons why Blanche Ames was chosen to represent the newest elementary school in Easton. Blanche Ames, wife of Oakes Ames, not the congressman, the Harvard botany professor, which makes sense seeing that their estate is now a state park, a quite beautiful one at that, with a beautiful mansion. All right, we got the answers coming in. All right, looks like a good handful of you knew this one. Or you could do some deductive reasoning by thinking what age were the Ames at that time and what the most popular social movement was. Which, by the way, I guess if you want a hint, I believe Blanche Ames died in 1969. She lived to a very old age, but she was pivotal in the women's suffrage movement. She was a suffragette, and she was an artist by trade. She did a lot of paintings. She did the illustrations for Oakes Ames orchid books, textbooks, and journals. And using her illustrative prowess, she also made political cartoons to help push the agenda that eventually won women the right to vote. So it was the women's suffrage movement that she played a big role in. Okay, here we go. 3 more questions left of the third round. Let's see how hot we do. What is the number of Babe Ruth's jersey that has been retired at Yankee Stadium since 1948? So it was Mickey Mantle who's the Commerce comment. Anyone that wrote Babe Ruth, now's your chance to share your Babe Ruth knowledge. But Babe Ruth had one of the earlier jersey retirements at Yankee Stadium. He was the last New York Yankee to wear what number? What number? And I could only, give you a hint. It's a single-digit number because he was also in that good old classic, old-timey baseball era. What single-digit number was retired after Babe Ruth? So let me think. It was like 1918 he was traded to the Yankees. So that's when he get it. That's when he cursed us when he went from a pitcher with the Boston Red Sox to an outfielder and slugger with the Yankees. He wore what number that then they retired at Yankee Stadium after his retirement? So the last New York Yankee to wear what number? Oh, look at that. People also knew this one. That's a good one. Classic sports right there. You don't have to keep up with ESPN to know this one. That is good old number 3. Number 3. Just a big blue 3 on the back of his jersey. Babe Ruth, number 3. So last Yankee to wear that number up there in the rafters. All right, we got 2 more questions here. We're in the final wire, so here we go. Let's give you some tough ones to think about. What is the name of Neptune's largest moon, thematically named after Poseidon's son? So Neptune and Poseidon are the Greek and Roman counterparts of each other. For all intents and purposes, you can consider Neptune to be Poseidon, whether you follow the ancient Greek or ancient Roman traditions. Neptune's largest moon is named after Poseidon's son. So they sort of swap out Greek and Roman right there. Swapping out Greek and Roman. So I believe Neptune is the Roman name, Poseidon is the Greek name. And right there, they gave Neptune's Roman name. The moon has a Greek name. What is the name of Poseidon's son? And it is you couldn't sort of guess by the theme, it's a little bit nautical. So you may have heard this name before when reading or watching something about ocean deities. All right, Neptune's largest moon. We haven't been there in person, but we've sent satellites there. Fun to explore, I can only assume. But that's our time. And Poseidon's son is also Ariel's dad, Triton. King Triton, you may know him from The Little Mermaid. In the lore of the ancient Greeks, King Triton is the son of Poseidon, which in the Roman tradition would be the son of Neptune. But with the Greek name, Triton is the largest moon of Neptune. Right there, it's for the Little Mermaid fans in the audience. All right, we're coming up on our last question of the evening. Here we go. In which century was Europe decimated by the Great Plague known as the Black Death? So we don't need to have any specific year. We're just looking for the century. And if you want reference, right now we are in the 21st century. So 2023, where we are right now, is in the 21st century. 1933, when King Kong came out, that was the 20th century. And so on and so forth back. Abraham Lincoln was around in the 19th century. Which century was the Black Death, the Great Plague that decimated Europe? We're looking for the century. You don't have to give me a specific year. You could write first, second, third, all the way up to 21st. Which century was the Black Death, the plague, or the bubonic plague? So let's see, originally came from rats, but it was the fleas that did us in. It was Beauty killed the beast, those little fleas. So there you go, they're coming in. Yes, this is a good one to end on because it's a tough one. You can consider this your final Jeopardy, except we have nothing to wager you on. And that's our time. So that was the 14th century. The 14th century, aka the 1300s. So 1347 to 1351, right there, is the Black Death, the Great Plague, straight there, straight out of the Middle Ages. So it looks like we got our answers in, which means we'll be taking our final break right now. When we come back, we'll have tonight's round 3 winner, and that'll be the end of our game. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Welcome to Easton News. I'm Abby Kitchenham.
And I'm Jack Ryan, and together we bring you everything you need to know about Easton, including politics.
The annual town election is scheduled for Saturday, April 22nd, 2023.
Community events.
Be Inspired. Counseling presents a parent and child coping workshop centered around a new year and new beginnings.
And sports.
Pressure builds diamonds, so we live by that every day of practice, going into every game.
With APCSM guest segment Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Katie with the Animal Protection Center, and today we have a little Iris.
With help from special correspondent Wyatt Fain. Join us
for Easton News.
Playing 6 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Hi, I'm Jen from Fantasy Crafts. Turn your average household items into fun for the whole family. Let your imagination run wild. It was my decision. You be quiet over there. Fantasy Crafts, playing Monday at 3 p.m., Wednesday at 1 p.m., only at ECAT.
All right, and we're back. Your round 3 names have all been tallied up, put in order, and put in this bag. Let me just remind you, round 3, we are playing for a $50 gift card to the Farmer's Daughter, located at 122 Main Street, serving unique and creative comfort food since 2013. So right here in the heart of downtown historic Easton. The winner of that $50 card will be Cheryl. Cheryl, you are our winner for round 3, the Farmer's Daughter right there. So it looks like we did get your email address in the form, so we will be able to contact you. For everybody else, I want to say thank you for enjoying our second broadcast of Tuesday Triviality. I'm your Trivia Master, Tim, and until next time, stay curious, keep that curiosity, because here is your Triviality. Thank you from ECAT Studios. Take care.